Welcome to Chad's Silversmithing. First off, I'd like to thank you for visiting my channel, and I would encourage you to like this video if you find it useful and informative, and share it with other people so that they can find it as well. And if you really like it, subscribe. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. So today's video is going to be addressing making some butterfly earrings. It seems like it's nice weather out and it feels like summer, so I was thinking, what reminds me of summer? Butterflies. So let's make some butterfly earrings today. Okay, let's get started. So for this project, I'm going to need a little bit of 14 gauge round wire for the bodies of the butterflies. This is just for some scrap to melt into balls to make into a head. These are scrap pieces of 18 gauge round, which I'll use for the wings. And then this is a little bit of 20 gauge to use for the ear wires. And of course this is also 20 gauge wrapped into a spiral around a piece of 14 gauge wire to make little tiny jump rings, which we'll use to put on top of the butterfly earrings so that we can attach the ear wires to them. So to get started, I think let's straighten this out a little bit. Probably straight enough. I think I'm going to cut the bodies about, I don't know, an inch long-ish. So we'll go about like, I can always cut them a little bit shorter if I feel like they're too long later. Set this extra wire for scrap. Start with, I'm going to taper one end just a little bit. Those are tapered just a little bit. I'm thinking for the wings, I'm going to have to figure out the size here to get a good scale. And they're going to be in 4 lobes for each one. There will be 2 front lobes and 2 back lobes. So I'm thinking that's going to make a pretty big earring, so I'm going to make those a bit smaller. I'm probably going to cut these a little bit shorter too. Shorten this a little bit. Pretty close. Bottom lobes are going to be more just kind of an elongated circle. I think I'm going to use the bell making pliers here to give me a hand on this one. Four of those. cutting these a little big because I know I'm going to snip them down a little bit smaller probably. Let's go with something like that. I think as far as the head goes, cut it off quite a bit shorter there. Alright, so I just got to make a couple more lobes for the other one. And then we'll make some heads for these guys. And we'll see if I'm up for it, but I may even put some antennas on here. Take a piece of this, 14 gauge, and I'm going to make a couple of pieces of silver that are about the same size, so I can melt them into little silver balls, which will make the head of our butterflies. Just going to solder those on. Chances are good that I have enough solder on the head here to where it will probably solder those up on the top, but I will have plenty of solder cut just in case. But I'm going to pick solder all of these just one at a time like that. I find that to be the easiest way for me anymore. You could just as easily just lean some pieces of solder in there probably. Although I find that to be more time consuming when I'm trying to balance the pieces of solder in places. We'll put smaller pieces of solder this time because I don't want to get too clumpy on these wires. His head keeps migrating. It is. Okay, so I think what I'll try to do here, try to ball up both ends of this piece of wire, and then we'll just bend it into a V to make his little antennas with little balls on the end. But we'll see if it works. The thing about melting the ends of wires like this, it's hard to get it consistent. So that's not too bad. I'll try one more like that and see how it works. I should have cut two pieces of the same length before I did this, but I wasn't thinking. Pretty close. You know, I think before I put these on, I think I'll put these on last. So I'm going to put a couple of little jump rings on the top right now. And so I don't have to worry about those afterwards. And since they lay flat, once I attach the antennas, then I can just throw them in the pickle and we'll be ready to go to the next stage. I'm going to pick up a little bit of extra solder just to make sure I have enough on there to make a good solid solder joint here. There's probably enough on the ring, but I'll say this over and over again, but the key to successfully soldering silver is noticing where the mass is and heating the piece according to how long it'll take for that, the bigger pieces to get up to temperature versus the little pieces which get up to temperature quickly. So I'm focusing most of the heat on the body of this guy. The little tiny ring will reach temperature very quickly versus the other part of it which has quite a bit more mass. Alright, let's see if I can figure out a way to get these guys attached now. I think let's flux that. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to sweat a little bit of solder on the head of the butterflies. That way there's already some solder in place that I need it to be. In theory, I should be able to heat this up. Just going forward a little here. Pop it on like that. Not 100% sure this one's really a good solid joint. Oh yeah, it looks okay. Okay, so I'm going to let these guys pickle for a while, and then I will put I'll probably bend the antennas a little differently, but put the ear wires on and polish them, and then we'll have some finished earrings. So stay tuned. Alright, just probably need to do a little cleanup with the Dremel and put some ear wires on, and then I'll polish them. Maybe straighten up these antennas a little differently. Alright, finished polishing. A couple of butterflies. Okay, well thanks for watching the video, and please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel, and if you ring the bell you get updates whenever I upload a new video, which lately has been about twice a week. So do that and you'll have all sorts of useful tips to choose from and lots of good content to watch. So again, thank you for watching, and happy silversmithing.